Welcome to this week's Race Room. Coming up on today's show, I'm asking you what you thought of this weekend's Japanese Grand Prix, and we're talking World Rally as the battle for the World Championship goes right down to the wire between Sebastien Ogier and Jari-Matti Latvala. Well, what a terribly sad weekend for Formula One at the Japanese Grand Prix. For those of you who didn't watch the race, the very sad news that Jules Bianchi crashed into a tractor on the side of the circuit as it was recovering Adrian Suttel's car. He was taken to hospital, has undergone surgery and is now in intensive care. I'm not going to say any more about his condition at the moment because there are varying reports on what's going on, but all I will say, from pole position, we are sending lots of best wishes to Jules Bianchi and his friends and family and wishing him a speedy recovery, as I'm sure all of you do too. Of course, there is the small matter of the race winner, and after 44 laps the race was red flagged. We had a red flag earlier on in the race and numerous outings for the safety car, but it was Lewis Hamilton who took the win in Japan. His first win at Suzuka. He's won at Fuji. I said last week in last week's Race Room that he wanted to tick that off his bucket list, and there he has done so, winning in Suzuka ahead of his teammate Nico Rosberg, who started on pole position, but Lewis Hamilton pulling an absolutely cracking move on Nico Rosberg. He said it was just textbook, but wow, what a textbook, as Martin Brundle said. He wants a copy of that textbook. And rounding out the top three, Sebastian Vettel, who I will mention a bit later on, causing a lot of news in the world of F1 this weekend. But what I'm wanting to ask you is, what did you think of this weekend's race? You can see here the marshals clearing the track with the water that had built up from this typhoon that was meant to hit Japan. It didn't actually hit and is meant to be hitting around about now. But lots of surface water, the safety car coming out, as I said, on numerous occasions. But what did you think? Do you think that the race organiser should have brought the race forward to 1 o'clock? So many opportunities from the FIA. They kept on saying, did they want to bring it forward? They didn't in the end and started the race behind a safety car. So what do you think on that? Second point, what do you think of recovery vehicles being brought onto the circuit? This is the one that removed Fernando Alonso's car, but it's the same type of vehicle that was moving Adrian Suttel's when Jules Bianchi ran into it. What do you think of that? And I'm sure if Adrian Suttel's car had been left on the track and Jules Bianchi had crashed into that, there probably would have been a lot of comments as to why the car hadn't been removed. So of course a recovery truck has to get involved. But what do you think about this? What can they implement? What can the FIA implement to stop accidents like Jules happening again? Comment below if you have an opinion on that. And yes, I mentioned the safety car. And in this picture, especially from James Moy, you can see it's very dark. And Adrian Suttel said he thinks that fading light might have been one of the contributing factors to the crashes that happened towards the end of the race. Here you can see Lewis Hamilton following the safety car. And as I mentioned, the safety car comes out a lot, but if the safety car's out and then the drivers are able to switch straight away to intermediates, we saw that with Jenson Button, then really, did the safety car need to stay out as long as it did on all of its occasions of having a few laps around with Bernd Maylander? Enjoying it, I'm sure, but yeah, not great if we go from full wets behind a safety car straight into intermediates. Where is the racing gone? They used to race in these conditions back in the day. And finally, do you think Formula One's race director, Charlie Whiting, should have been stricter with the organisers at Suzuka? Do you think he should have brought the red flag out so early on in the race? Do you think he should have stopped the race when he did? Should it continue to the full length of the race? Comment below, what do you think of this weekend's Japanese Grand Prix? And of course, leave your best wishes for Jules Bianchi too. World Rally was in France at the weekend and Sebastien Ogier was hoping to win on home soil, but a gear shift sensor problem meant that he had to drop 8 minutes back behind the rest of the pack. Jari-Matti Latvala, his teammate, capitalised on this and took full advantage of it, winning the rally, and behind him was Andreas Mikkelsen. So it was a 1-2 for VW, Chris Meek making it third place for Citroën. Jari-Matti Latvala though, 27 points only behind Sebastien Ogier now as they head to Rally Spain. Only 2 more rounds of the championship to go, so it's really going down to the wire. This is what Jari-Matti Latvala had to say after he took the win in France.
Experience from Germany when I did a mistake. Now I able to maintain my mind and keep the control on the driving. Unfortunately, I had to make it in Germany, that experience that I could win here. Yeah, I'm really motivated for Catalonia to keep the fight going on. That is what I want to do, and I feel now I've been able to take one more step forward on my career, and now I want to keep the fight on the championship.
Right, time for tweets of the week, and the fake Charlie Whiting Twitter account has tweeted saying, "I'm going to watch Rush because they used to race in the rain." Yeah, I mentioned it during the news so many times that we saw the safety car coming out over the weekend. What do you think? Do you think the safety car was deployed too much? I have to say, I do think if the drivers could switch straight to intermediates after the safety car goes in, then I don't think it's really doing its job. I think a lot of the drivers were shouting and actually directly calling out Charlie Whiting, Lewis Hamilton, for example, saying, "Charlie, we're ready to race, it's dry enough." Slicks could even have been used. I think one of the drivers was meant to have said. So yeah, what do you think? Do you think there was too much safety car action over the weekend? Comment below. And our second and last tweet for this week's race room from WTF1.co.uk. Massa gate crashing Alonso's interview to ask which team he's moving to. And there, look, little cheeky little Alonso's little smiley face and cheeky Felipe Massa saying, "Going to Marussia? Caterham?" And Alonso saying, "Yeah, come to Ferrari, come to Ferrari." Lots of news about Fernando Alonso. Where will he end up? Will he move to McLaren? What do you think? Where do you think Alonso's headed? And that brings me nicely onto this. Yes, Sebastian Vettel announcing he's leaving Red Bull. He says it's got nothing to do with the performance of the team this year, but of course, perhaps it has a little bit to do with it, if you're being cynical. So he's moving allegedly to Ferrari. That's what Christian Horner alluded to, saying that Ferrari must have given him a good deal, which means, yes, there is going to be someone leaving Ferrari. And as I mentioned in tweets, that's probably going to be Fernando Alonso, and it's rumoured that he's going to be going to McLaren. If you have any inside info, why not comment below? Tell me what you think. We'll be back with more Race Room next week. I'm hoping to have some good news about Jules Bianchi then. In the meantime, check out the channel and see what else we've been up to on Pole Position. I'll be back next week.
Ferrari, the cars that make Formula One sing.